Hey guys, my name is Sean,
And I'm Chance.
and this is Anime Anarchy.
And we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball DAIMA today. And if we have time, we'll be talking about a few other things. Everybody loves Invincible, so we're going to be talking about that also if we have time. So let's see what we got today.
That's right. So I think we are where we left off is we are on episode 14 of Daimo, and that's when they get to the first demon world. And once they get there, they're met with the whole, how do you say it, gender armory?
Yeah. The Gender Armory.
Yeah. And somehow it seems to be a lot for them for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one thing I don't really like about Dragon Ball Daima is just the inconsistency with how strong they are. You know, they like to every now and then remind us, oh, well, they're a lot weaker because they're in their child-sized bodies, and so that's why they have trouble fighting some of these weaker villains. At least when there's like swarms of them, like an entire army attacking them. But then when they're fighting against like much bigger threats, they typically have a lot easier of a time showing that they still are a lot stronger than they think they are because of their small bodies.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense for them to be having any trouble whatsoever. Even Supreme Kai and Piccolo should be just charging through all these soldiers.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is that maybe their weapons, like you said, were more powerful in the first demon world, which I don't know if that makes sense or not, or if it was just the vast amount of them,
Yeah,
because it was like the whole armory or the army like going after them.
yeah, but even like so a good I guess comparison of this to earlier Dragon Ball content would be in the Resurrection F arc or the movie of Super where Frieza is resurrected and he comes back with the Frieza Force. An entire army of over 1,000 soldiers attack Earth. And while they're waiting on Goku and Vegeta to show up, Piccolo, Gohan, and the rest of the Z fighters are all fighting this army of 1,000 soldiers. And I guess, that's it. It's a good, like, they showed them having trouble, like, not in individuals, they're wiping them out individually,
Yeah,
but there's just so many that they did get worn down throughout the course of the fight, but they still won, and that's the weakest characters on the Dragon Ball team.
right.
You've got Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Glorio, Supreme Kai. They should be able to handle these guys,
Yeah,
unless they're just that much stronger than a Frieza Force soldier.
which one makes sense to me? To be honest with you, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but because I mean, like Namekians, are overall a pretty weak species. Like physically, they have some
Yeah,
strong people, but like overall, they're fairly weak. The Kais are all pretty weak. Also, I don't know
yeah, compared to
compared to like
Saiyans.
Saiyans and
Yeah,
stuff, but then compared to like I don't know most like humans and like random like citizens in the galaxy, they're still strong. So I don't know,
yeah.
but
But either way, I mean, they end up, you know, winning because and I don't know why they made this like the deciding factor. When the guys came in from the third demon world and kind of
oh yeah,
like
when they got that reinforcements
they kind
from
of like A teamed it in
yeah
there
yeah.
and like saved them.
Which
Uh,
I guess, like, if the issue is that they're having trouble with just the overwhelming numbers, they're just like their stamina just keeping up with a longer fight,
yeah,
then I guess sure it makes sense that like having these guys reinforce them, makes it easier because they have to fight less. But I just wasn't expecting it. It did kind of feel like it came out of nowhere. I guess it really didn't, though. I mean, they were kind of hinting way earlier on that like the king was trying to find another plane so he could go to. I think, but
yeah. I guess I mean it was still. I mean, I guess it was pretty cool to see them support. Especially with what the king's daughter, being there.
For sure. I mean, I just thought it was cool how there was a team effort at all. I mean, that's pretty unusual nowadays with Dragon Ball. Goku and Vegeta are very much I'm gonna fight one on one kind of person. Same with like Gohan. They'd rather do their one on one fights rather than fight as a team. Even if that's the only way that they can really win. But this time around, Goku was like, I need everybody's help with this.
Right.
And it was kind of cool seeing so many people fighting in the same fight, with Goku and Vegeta, because you just don't get that very often at all.
No, definitely not. But either way, they passed that, and you know, while they're fighting, of course, we see, I guess, it was Degasu that hired just a random citizen to get the third eye from the comic relief character. I forgot his name.
Hybus.
Hybus.
Yeah, Hybus is the goat for sure of Dragon Ball Daima.
Yeah, he's hilarious. But, um, you know, she offered a kiss, and he said, "No thanks.
Yeah, no thank you. I just
I'm
want.
fine. I like your hat though."
Yeah, that hat was pretty cool. He said he really wanted that hat.
Yeah. So he traded his belt, which had the third eye in it, which none of them knew, what it was, obviously,
Yeah.
for a hat.
Yep.
If that wouldn't have happened, then Goma would have been down for
Oh yeah, the show would have ended in episode 16. Like yeah,
100%.
for sure.
But either way, once Goma got the third eye, he basically hulked out.
Yeah, became a huge hulkling monster, and I was thinking that this was going to be some kind of fake out, like Goma wasn't going to do anything impressive. I thought somehow Arinsu and the Majins were gonna come back around as like the big final bosses, but I was proven wrong. Goma was absolute unit on the battlefield.
Yeah, we debated about this
Yeah,
a lot.
we did.
And because this whole season's been very underwhelming. So I mean, it made sense for you to think so, but considering how big he got, I felt like it was all just like magical power.
Yeah.
And not just like physical prowess.
For sure.
I was confident that he was gonna be a threat.
And he was. Definitely so.
Yeah.
I mean, when they were fighting in their kid forms still, for that first little bit, even with all of them fighting at the same time, and I mean, it was everybody. You had the whole Dragon team who was there, including even the Supreme Kai is fighting.
Yep.
You've got
the Tamagami.
The Tamagami
Yeah.
was fighting. The first world Tamagami, presumably the strongest of the three of them, was fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You've got all of the third Demon World people were, I think, jumping in on the fight too, at least from a distance. Weren't they like shooting and stuff?
I don't remember. I mean, probably, or I don't remember if they did that or if they were like, okay, this is probably too much for us. But I don't know. Maybe at the beginning they did.
Yeah, maybe. I know it wasn't. If they did, it wasn't for long. But yeah, everybody was fighting Goma, and no, it wasn't helping.
No. Not at all.
I thought it was interesting how they ended up reintroducing in this fight also Super Saiyan 4. So Daima brought Super Saiyan 4 back into the Dragon Ball like canon timeline because this is supposed to be canon and connecting to Super as well. Mm-hmm. So so they bring this form back, but the way it's introduced versus how it's explained in the following episode is a little bit confusing to me. I've only watched it once so far, so I definitely need to just rewatch the scene a few more times to see if I'm just missing something.
Yeah,
but
maybe in dub too.
Maybe in dub I'll pick up on something that I didn't in sub. But it happens when Goku's like looks like he's defeated, and Neva does something to him. The Namekian, that like elder Namekian, he does some like magic or something to him that revitalizes him, and he ascends to Super Saiyan 4 for the first time chronologically, like in the canon timeline. But then he still loses the fight, gets knocked out of the form, and the episode ends with the Dragon Balls from the Demon Realm being used by Glorio and Arinsu, and Glorio betrays Arinsu by wishing for everybody to be turned back into their adult bodies. Right. When this happens, Goku obviously becomes an adult again, and then he gives us the classic, you know, this is to go further beyond with the Super Saiyan speech. And yeah. he goes through all the forms again in his adult form, and then he goes into Super Saiyan 4 again, but this time on his own. So at first you're left thinking, okay, now that Neva has unlocked this form for him using some Namekian magic or demon magic, right. Now he can just tap into it, kind of like he did with the God form, yeah. You know.
And now he's an adult too,
right? And so it would be easier right. for him to do it. So, but then in the next episode, Goku is talking to Vegeta about the form and explains, "Oh yeah, I unlocked this a little bit before we started this adventure because I trained so hard after fighting Majin Buu. I was just waiting until the right moment to pull it out or something like that."
That's bullshit.
But I'm like, what? Then what was that whole sequence with Neva in right. the first? Like, what was that about?
Exactly. Was it just because you were in kid form?
Yeah, right. Could he not turn Super Saiyan 4 in kid form naturally, so he needed Neva to do it?
That just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, because then how would Neva even know about that?
That like takes the whole like, I don't know, I guess surprise and right. like, the whole importance of it like out of it.
I mean, it's not a huge deal, right? It's not a big important thing. It's just confusing, and I don't understand like what the whole point of that sequence with Neva was if he could already do it before the show started. Like,
it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
That kind of.
And now, I mean, so before anyone comes in on the comments on some obviously. Well, Toriyama hadn't thought of this yet because Daima wasn't planned when they started Super. Obviously, the real world answer is that. But because this is a canon show now that ties into Super and everything else, and because it is a retcon, that's left with a plot hole of, so why then did he never use it in Super? Like during the Tournament of Power or something.
Well, I mean,
as I'm like, because if he could, so obviously Toriyama hadn't planned it yet. But if in the universe, right. if the lore says that he could have, then wouldn't he have wanted to show the universe Six Saiyans as a benchmark for them to reach?
Yes.
You know, and I mean, absolutely.
And Beerus.
And for Beerus, yeah. Absolutely.
Because he just went Super Saiyan 3 against Beerus, and that was like all he had.
Yeah.
And then, because Beerus was searching for the, Super Saiyan God.
But at this point, he would have been 3 years later after unlocking Super Saiyan 4.
Right.
So
you would have thought that finding Beerus, he would have
absolutely
done that to even try to do anything to Beerus. But
yeah, and again, I know he just hadn't planned it yet, actually, but now that it is established that this is the case, that is a plot hole. Yeah. I'm just saying, Love Toriyama, love Dragon Ball. I even love this show, like, in retrospect. Like, look through... If I'm just going episode by episode basis, I would say at least half of the episodes I was kind of... This is okay, but not, like, great.
Yeah.
But I would say that the overall story, when you bring everything together, I would say it's pretty good. It was a classic Toriyama story. It did feel very much like OG Dragon Ball for much of the show, and then we got some real like Dragon Ball Z good fights at the very end.
Yeah, which I was definitely hoping for. Because
Yeah,
if it
for
didn't,
sure.
then I would have been very.
At least one, because even Dragon Ball, even OG had some really big fights at the end of certain arcs. So you kind of always have expected that with Toriyama.
We also, we finally saw how much stronger they were as adults than
Yeah,
children. Because until that point, we kind of had no idea. They were just getting used to their bodies,
right.
but it still seemed like they were just. Still seemed like it was so easy just to beat everybody.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, there didn't really feel like too many stakes throughout the show, bar like a couple of fights.
right. So I mean that to that point, that's it's still really underwhelming. Considering what if they went down there as adults, and that would have been like a one episode season.
Yeah,
Just
it would have been over a
yeah,
lot quicker for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
So I don't know. I mean, it was very interesting. It's something that's never been done before. Them being as kids and just seeing how, at least how much they struggle to get used to their bodies, being able to see, the vast expanse of the demon worlds, 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah.
and basically like the different cultures there, in each different one. Getting a little bit of a backstory of the Namekians and the Glens.
Yeah, that I did definitely enjoy that. Even though especially with the Glens and the Kais, that almost feels like a bigger retcon. Like, I don't know, that was a pretty big one too, because originally they said they were called Kais came from the core people who grew on this special like god plant or god tree or whatever, and the golden fruit would eventually grow into supreme Kais, and the non-golden fruit would grow into the regular Kais or whatever, like King Kai. But I actually kind of prefer the Glen thing. I prefer them
Yeah,
being from the demon world. It felt more mystical with them being core people or whatever, but like I think this just makes more sense that they come from somewhere,
yeah.
like that they're not just
They're not born gods.
yeah,
Yeah,
they become gods just
right.
like everything else. Cuz even
Exactly.
the destroyer gods aren't born gods. They
Right.
become gods.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool getting that little bit of details about the Glens. And the Namekian stuff I thought actually really already fit with kind of what we already knew about Namekians. Like learning that they are originally from the demon realm and then they left and split out into other universes that really that really kind of makes sense, because the demon realm is outside of the multiverse. So like
Right.
it makes sense now. Okay, so the Namekians that were on Universe 6 versus Universe 7 actually very likely all lived together in the demon realm at
Right.
one point.
Right.
They just went kind of separate ways.
Yeah.
You know. Um,
Just like with the gods,
yeah.
because the universe has its own gods.
Yep.
So
All from the demon realm as well.
exactly, and that makes sense too because they have pointy ears. Apparently,
Yep.
if you have pointy ears, you're from the demon realm. And I didn't know that, honestly.
So they said he did. Supreme Kai did say not every species in the universe with pointy ears is from the demon realm, but everybody from the demon realm has pointy ears. Yeah, it's not completely mutually exclusive.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I didn't see the latest episode, so I know you said that Super Saiyan 4 was more explained, but in a shitty way.
A little bit, just kind of a. So yeah, so we'll say at the end of it, after they win, and I'll tell you how they win was underwhelming, but pretty fitting for the story. It was actually it was kind of cool if you like the characters, but it wasn't how you definitely wouldn't have guessed how they went. And I'll let you guess after I'm done talking for a second before I tell you. But basically, Goku's explaining to Vegeta that he already had unlocked the form went through by training really, really hard after the fight with Majin Buu.
I don't like that.
Yeah, so like he just, and I'm cool with him getting the form, but like realistically, he only recently had Super Saiyan 3.
Right.
Like he still, we know it was still a new form because it was still draining so much energy for him to use. He hadn't mastered and perfected it yet.
Exactly.
So like it's a new form. Why are you already jumping to 4? And
right.
why weren't you going to tell Vegeta about it?
Right.
And Vegeta, when Goku told him, "Yeah, but you unlocked Super Saiyan 3 though, man. You did it." And he's like, what?" He's like, "No, that's not Super Saiyan 3. That's Ultra Vegeta 1."
Oh,
that's what he
nice.
said. So
sounds about right.
Yeah. So he's doesn't want to admit he's got the same thing as Goku. So that's his own thing now. Ultra Vegeta 1. But all right. How do you think they beat Goma, and who do you think was the one to deliver the final blows?
Let's see.
I'll give you 2 guesses.
So obviously they would have had to remove the third eye. And I know Rensu had some sort of plan with that.
Okay.
You knock him on the back of the head 3 times. Just stupid.
Oh, you did that? That was in the episode before last.
Yep.
Okay, so you know that.
Yep. And so I'm guessing that Goku knocked him 3 times. Got the third eye out. And then what's the comic relief character?
Hyvis.
And then Hyvis did a massive Kamehameha and just blew him away.
No.
No, I would actually say probably Vegeta. Vegeta, so say it's some sort of Final Flash situation, which he had done previously, but in adult form, and I guess he ended Goma. Is that right? Okay,
so Piccolo was Goku's wingman in the fight, and the balance of power between Goku and Goma did shift a lot. In that Goku before, even in Super Saiyan 4 as a kid, was barely hurting Goma at all, and like probably wasn't even really hurting him.
Yeah.
But in his adult form, he was actually able to send him flying, do noticeable damage to him. Like they were having an actual fight. The problem was every single any noticeable damage that Goku did to Goma, the eye was basically healing or negating altogether.
And then like making him bigger.
Right. So while Goku is the whole time losing stamina and getting weaker.
Right.
So Piccolo is his wingman. Goku's just trying to distract him long enough for Piccolo to get behind him and knock the eye out. Okay. So they're finally going to give our boy a chance to shine and take down the big bad of the series, even if it's not through pure combat, but even if it's through an assist. It's a key part, and I would love to give Piccolo that. I would love to, and I wish I could. So he gets 2 taps on him, and he's about to do the final one. He's about to win, and Goma just swats him away. Awesome. Yeah. Done.
Sorry, Piccolo.
Yeah, can't get close.
Sorry.
And the one who finally does get the 3 blows on him and take the eye out and defeats Goma is none other than Demon World's very own Majin Ku, the brainy one. The one that was made with the Cyberman seed.
Yep. Awesome.
And in that respect, because he was the one who defeated Goma, by right, he is the heir to the Demon World throne. So he's now the Supreme Demon Lord.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, Majin Ku.
Supreme Demon Lord.
Supreme Demon Lord. And he is made Arinsu, Glorio, Ponzi, and her dad all ministers of the I don't know, I guess the castle or the first demon world or whatever. So like they're gonna help him rule.
At least he's nice, you know.
Yeah, so he said he wants to make the demon world a scary but fair place to live. So
and Arensu wanted to be terrifying, so I'm glad that she didn't get what she wanted.
And she'll still, I don't know, she still had the freedom and power to do whatever she wants because she is his right hand, basically.
Yeah, but hopefully, you know, since he's not going to be a cruel and unjust or annoying, because I know Goma was annoying shit.
Yeah.
Leader, you know, I'm hoping that it just stays that way.
Yeah.
But is there any teasers for what's next?
Teasers for what's next. Let me.
In the whole Daima
realm thing. I don't think so, actually. The show. Okay, okay. Maybe if Toriutaro wants to come back to the demon world, he can, because they did leave this up, a few things up in the air. So, one, Hanzi gave Bulma a absolute metric shit ton of that like demon world like fuel or whatever
that gem.
Gem stuff. So that she could make I guess demon world technology and ships and stuff like that. Yeah. So that if they want to, they could reference Daima again in that within her inventions. So that's a little thing they could do to make references.
And they'd be able to go back
and could go back and forth to the demon world. And then two is that on their way back home, Goku mentions, hey, we've been running low on senzu beans a lot lately. Let's stop by that one store in the third demon world and get some more of the med bugs to supplement their senzu beans back in the Universe 7. So they buy all of them.
From that one shop?
Yeah, they buy the whole supply because now they've got like demon royalty money from, you know, because they're tight with the king.
I'm sure that family was happy too.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was a big sale. So they do get that, and so I guess they could always in Super, if they ever bring the show back, please, I hope they do. But if they ever do, they could show them eating some medibugs instead of senzu beans occasionally.
Yeah.
Bulma also bought out their entire supply of this one kind of bug for herself because just one of them makes your skin look 10 times younger.
Of course. Yeah.
So she bought their whole supply of that.
Yep.
And then big little twist in the store also. They find by accident a little bucket of or a little jar of eyes in the store, like covered up, and what they were Tertian Oculus eyes, like they're exact same thing as what Goma had.
Are
So
you
they
serious?
said originally they had three,
Oh my god.
and somebody bought one of them a few millennia ago. So it was a couple thousand years ago. Somebody bought their third one, but the other two have just been sitting there the whole time. So there's two more
Oh my
Tertian
god.
Oculuses just sitting in
That's
that
crazy.
store, and they never are shown purchasing them, so no one else could use them. So I mean, like maybe they could always give two more people these eyes.
Right. That would be crazy.
Yeah, just two of them. Gonna need Broly for
Yeah.
this one and Gohan for
Yeah,
this one.
for real.
Yeah.
I am sad that they didn't use the ones for fusion. I was
Yeah, they
hoping.
never did. I thought we were gonna either get Gogeta or Vegeta or something new.
Right,
But
exactly. Because I mean, there's got to be some sort of reason why they referenced that. I mean,
I would have even settled for if it was Piccolo and Supreme Kai
yeah,
fusing.
yeah,
You
that's
know,
what
I
I'm
just wanted to see
saying
a
too.
fusion. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, but something that just popped in my head that I thought was ridiculous.
yeah,
It's. Do you remember when Vegeta was fighting Goma, and you know he would rather die than to let somebody else fight him, and what happened
yeah,
to get him to stop?
yeah.
What happened?
Bulma yells out that if he doesn't stop fighting and let somebody else have a turn, that she's never going to take a bath with him again. And
Yep.
he
Immediately
stopped fighting.
stopped.
And I completely relate to that.
It's just like,
Yeah.
Your significant other has so much power over you.
Oh yeah. No matter how powerful you are.
Exactly. So,
Yep.
I mean, she probably saved his life, honestly.
Probably because he was not doing too hot.
No. Considering the third eye just has unlimited stamina. I mean, it's just, or gives you unlimited stamina.
Yeah.
Stamina.
I think he had been like knocked out of Super Saiyan 3 also.
Oh, yeah.
Like I think he
was only in his base form.
Yeah, like I don't think he could go any further than that anymore.
But gotta love Dragon Ball sexual innuendos.
Oh yeah.
Innuendo. God, I can't talk. Innuendos.
Innuendos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so as you said, I'm hoping for a season 2. Of course, it's going to probably be
Of Super.
Of Super. You don't want Daima?
Not okay. Not if the formula is just to make them kids again. I feel like that's cool as a one-off, but like I don't want that to be a recurring thing. No. So I think you can reintroduce everything that was from Daima, but just do it in Super. Just continue Super, but then like bring Neva back. Show us Majin Ku and Aransu. Like you can bring all of those characters into Super and continue the Daima story in Super.
That's true.
It could just easily be wrapped all together into one.
So I'm talking about Dragon Ball Super 2. I saw, I don't know if it was a manga or if it was just some sort of fandom, where the Grand Priest kills Whis.
Yeah, no, that's fandom stuff. Yeah, that's somebody saying manga.
And it's just crazy. I would love to see the angels actually like show their true power, because the way that the Grand Priest looked in this fandom, was like ridiculous.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like hulked out. It's just ridiculous. Like, I mean, but
he's got a third eye.
No, but you would see that, or you could see that somewhat happening though, because they're so powerful, but they look like pure, like basically like kids almost.
For sure.
Especially the Grand Priest. They're so. Well, I guess that's what you think. Angels are just like pure and just whatever it may be, but like for their actual true power to come out, considering the Grand Priest is like 4th in the entire all the universes, 4th most powerful,
if not the second,
because that's what they said in Super was he was number 4.
Okay. I wonder who would be above him then. Maybe the bodyguards of the Omni King. Mm-hmm. Like the specific those dudes that were like, hey, go back.
Yep. So I don't know. I think that would be cool. But of course, since Super already has a continued manga out there, I'm sure they would follow that I'm guessing.
God, I hope so. And there's so much that they can animate too. I mean, so they could do just like they did with Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. They could completely do the Broly movie as an arc in the anime. They could completely do the superhero movie as an arc in the anime.
I still have not seen that one. I have not been able to. So
that's crazy.
Sure.
I will
and
send
that's what
you.
Gohan gets.
I'll
like,
send you like a
movies.
link to that because that's crazy.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
Yeah, you do. But yeah, they could make either of those an arc. You know, like a I don't know, like a 8 to 16 episode arc. You know, or 12 episodes, something like that. Just like they did with Battle of Gods, Resurrection Now. Then there's the Moro arc. There's the Granola arc, the strongest in the universe. Black Frieza, and now they just did a Trunks and Goten one off that focuses on teenage Trunks and Goten as like
awesome.
Superheroes.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, so far it's manga only, but yeah.
So they have a lot of things they can do.
They have a lot of material they can do for Super if it comes back. They like Super. Honestly, Super went on for about for several years. It could easily do another 5 years. Just with the content they have available.
Okay. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Please do another Super.
Please bring it back.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, before we talk about something else, as you can see, we have some decoration here. I'm currently building the studio.
Slowly coming along. It's coming along.
Since money is tight for everybody,
yeah.
It's just going to be one bit at a time. So yeah. I'm sure you'll see a progression, go up behind us. So I appreciate your support while we're starting out. And we're probably a little bit awkward on video.
We're just not used to it yet.
Yeah, I'm not used to the camera staring at me in the face. No. But we appreciate you and being able to support us and get us to that next chapter. So.
Yep.
So what else you want to talk about, Chance?
All right. Well, I kind of want to talk about. I kind of want to talk about Invincible a little bit.
I love that show.
Yeah, so season 3 is almost over now. We're episode 7 out of 8 is going to be releasing. Well, actually, by the time this episode comes out, it might already be out, or probably will. So this week, Thursday. And one of the biggest events from the comics is about to be happening this week. The Invincible War. I don't know if you've heard anything about that on Facebook or online.
I have not. No.
Really?
Really?
That's incredible.
So what is it? Tell me.
You want to know?
I want to know.
All right. So for anybody who might not have seen season 3, episode 7, if you're watching this and you don't want to get spoiled, skip ahead a little bit while I'm talking about this. But so you remember Angstrom Levy or
yes.
Levy? Mm-hmm. So he is alive, as we know. He's the one who's been spying on Mark and the Guardians all season, and he is essentially going around the multiverse recruiting evil variants of Mark.
Oh, of course.
To attack Earth and ruin his reputation. Make everyone see him for the villain that he is.
So instead of
using other marks.
So instead of just fighting Mark with other marks, they're actually just
out to ruin the reputation. Yeah, more so than
that's kind of like more sinister.
Yeah. Yeah, so the goal will be also to kill him. Yeah. Right. The goal is to kill him, but first to make the whole world hate him, fear him, and think that he was involved in this.
Because then if he wins, What does he
Right,
have
because
left?
then even if Mark wins, exactly,
Yeah.
people will still be scared of him and always associate his face now two times because not only from this but also from the fight with Omni-Man in Chicago
Right.
because they already with Powerplex people already associate him with that or some people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And imagine too, you know, just you see how powerful Mark is, and how many times this season and even last season have they stated that he's the most powerful hero on Earth right now.
Yeah, and he's continuing to level up.
Yeah,
too, with all.
there's gonna be a minimum of 16, I think maybe even 18 marks.
That could literally
attacking.
destroy.
Yes.
The world.
Yes, easily.
Multiple worlds, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So their goals, and the reason why they're all doing this, because any of them is obviously more powerful than Angstrom. Why would they be working for him?
Right. 100%.
So he's the only person in the multiverse with the ability to do what he does. So he is basically striking a deal with these evil marks that, hey, if you do this for me, then I will use my powers and technology to help you expand your empire throughout the multiverse.
Right.
Why stop at
Makes
conquering
sense.
one universe
Yeah.
if you can have a dozen? So he's like essentially because there's infinite universes, right? So he's probably offering like each mark, well, why not a dozen universes a piece
Right.
if you help me,
Right.
that you can conquer with your empire.
I mean, it makes sense.
Sure, sure.
There's leverage there.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got something to offer that all of them want.
Now something, besides that whole storyline.
Yeah.
What I love is Alan the Alien.
Oh yeah, Alan is awesome.
Alan the Alien is awesome. I mean, he sounds like, and I don't know if it is. I haven't looked it up. Is he voiced by Seth Rogen?
Yep. That's him.
That's even better. So
that's him.
Just get that voice. But so he basically gets the shit beat out of him by Viltrumites.
Yep, Viltrumites.
Viltrumites, yeah.
He watches everything on mute.
I suck at saying stuff. Yeah.
He watches everything on mute while his wife is asleep next to him, so he doesn't actually know how to pronounce anything that he watches. He's only reading subtitles.
Yep.
It's like it's like if he only ever watched subs, but still in English. Like,
yeah. So my pronunciation is going to suck for all of these shows.
Yeah.
So
just so if anyone has any, like, why does he always mispronounce things? It's because he doesn't know how they're pronounced. So he's never heard it in his life.
You can have fun with it. But yeah, he gets beat the shit kicked out of him to where he's like basically dead, and then he basically comes back in peak physical form where he's almost as strong as, if not stronger than, the average Viltrumite.
So he more so, I know a lot of people make comparisons between Viltrumites and Saiyans, and there are some similarities for sure. Their warrior like tendencies and just the power and how they conquer, the stronger they get. Yeah, and like youthful, that kind of thing. But like even then, a Saiyan's only going to like remain youthful for about like 60 years. After about 60 is when you start aging a little bit. Yeah. Because even in GT, you could kind of see like Vegeta starting to show signs of aging. Yeah. Very slightly, but starting to. Yeah. So once you're, and like Paragus, Broly's dad. Yeah. So once you, even then, that's when you start aging. So if you look like you're in your 20s up until your 60s, and then you start aging, you're still, as long as you don't die in battle, probably going to make it to be over 100. Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah. But you're not going to live like a Viltrumite. Yeah, no. Not thousands of years. Yeah. But Alan has an ability to, when he almost dies, but survives and comes back, like when he regenerates from almost death, he comes back. So I'm not sure if it's like he comes back more powerful, like overall, like all of his stats boost up every time, or if it relates to like how he's killed. Like if he, I don't know if if it's like if you're not strong enough to beat who you're fighting, you come back strong enough to fight who killed you. I'm not sure if it's something like that. Yeah. But basically, he comes back stronger every time he almost dies, like a Saiyan does.
And it definitely helps that the leader of his group is a Viltrumite that we find out.
Yeah. Thetis.
I don't remember his name. But yeah. I thought that was pretty cool because we thought that Omni-Man and Mark were the only Viltrumites that were kind of like going against the entire Viltrumite empire, which is only like 12 people. 16 people. I don't remember.
It's a little less than 50, so high 40s.
I thought it was less than that.
No, it's high 40s.
Okay, well, anyway, so it's almost extinct, but of course they're the strongest things in the universe. But
yeah.
But then we find out there's another one, so there's more hope there that the Viltrumites can be overthrown. At least the bad ones, of course. And we see that Omni-Man is now getting a change of heart. He now has remorse. While he's sitting in jail. And then they break him out, and I don't think I've seen after that because I've only gotten to like episode 4.
Oh man, you need to watch.
I just hate watching that one because I want to be able to like.
You do need to hear the voices, man. It is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need to get caught up. Let's see. Alan, so Alan, when you first meet him in season 1, he's probably around the Immortals level of power, or maybe somewhere between like stronger than Immortal but weaker than Omni-Man.
Yeah, because he's fought Omni-Man before.
Right.
Because of what Omni-Man basically said about him.
Right.
Just go deal with him.
Right.
So Omni-Man's dealt with him a few times.
But for Omni-Man to say, oh, he's not really that strong, but he still gave Mark a tough time, yeah. I'm thinking that at that point he was around as strong as the Immortal.
Yeah. Because
Mark didn't become stronger than the Immortal, I don't think, until after his fight with Omni-Man.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So, like, at the start of season 2, yes, Mark is stronger than the Immortal because he's just been through a lot of fights by that point. Yeah. But for at least most of season 1, I still think he's probably about even with the Immortal, but Immortal has more battle experience.
Yeah. I mean, he was still trying to figure shit out.
Yeah, I think like if Mark was in a life or death fight against him and went into a rage, he would probably overpower him. But as long as that doesn't happen, Immortal's probably going to win just from better skills.
Because Mark, he still doesn't like to really hurt people,
right?
Especially kill people. He doesn't want to do that. But
something clicks. Season 3, he's been
something clicks in his mind in certain instances where he just goes all out. And he doesn't give a shit.
I don't remember which episode was it. Did you watch the episode when in season 3 where Dropkick and whatever his name is took Mark to the future?
Yep.
To face down King Immortal.
Yep. And he ripped his head off.
Yeah.
He didn't want to, but Immortal wanted it because he was basically
going crazy.
Oh God.
A lot of foreshadowing in that episode.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of foreshadowing in the things that he said.
Apparently Mark left and Immortal had to take over.
Yep.
And he was going crazy because and he just blamed Mark for all of it, of course. And but he wanted to die. But Mark was still like, no, I don't want to kill you.
Yeah.
But then he just kept egging him on. And Mark finally just ripped his head off. So easy peasy.
I gotta say, if I was living in the Invincible universe, obviously being a Viltrumite would be better because they're stronger, faster, and whatever. But like, I wouldn't mind being the Immortal. He's still the strongest person on Earth unless a Viltrumite's around.
Right.
And
he lives forever.
Forever, longer than this. He's already 3,000 years old when the show starts.
So.
So his whole thing is because he is going to outlive everyone on Earth, right? he just needs to leave Earth. Just go somewhere and meet some aliens that are longer lived. Like, go date a Viltrumite.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, literally, just go date a Viltrumite.
Exactly.
Like, then you'll only have to find one mate every, like, 10,000 years versus one every, like, 80, you know? Like...
yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
So, I don't know. Maybe he just loves Earth. I don't know.
I guess. And I guess up until modern times, he didn't really have a way to leave. But
yeah. But
no, I think he should have left with Mark. Wherever Mark went, he should have gone too.
But I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
The Invincible War is going to be, I think, pretty sick. So
yeah,
I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
I appreciate you telling me.
Yeah, it should only be just the one episode long. I know a lot of people online were hoping it was going to be like a multi-episode thing, but the thing is, in the comic books, because I have the whole series, the whole like at least mainline set.
Yeah.
It only is one issue with the comics, so just one little comic book. So it doesn't really go that long, but it's going to be a lot of really cool fights because Invincible can't fight 16 or 18 other Invincibles on his own.
Come on, dog.
You're going to get to see a lot of the other heroes from Earth get their time to shine.
Yeah.
And man, so who's your favorite non-Viltrumite characters on Earth other than Alan and Viltrumites? Anybody you attached to?
Well, I think Adam Eve's. Well, we get a backstory of her, but I think her powers are awesome. Like,
her powers are pretty
literally can. It's like transmutation, except she doesn't even like need. She just uses molecules.
Yeah, just anything.
So I think that is so sick.
I'd also happily just have her powers too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would sacrifice not being super strong to have her powers.
You wouldn't have to spend any money ever.
Ever.
You would just be able to make everything.
Why do they work in jobs? Just turn this into gold.
Yeah, 100%. Or do what she did and just go live out in the forest. She built herself an amazing treehouse.
Yeah.
Right. And she can make anything she wants to eat. She can make anything she wants to drink. I mean, she can survive just anywhere.
Yep.
So I mean, I think that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, for sure.
Who's your favorite? Is it Rex? Rex Splitter.
Well, I have to say, he's probably one of my favorites now. Like with at least like personality wise, within the Guardians. But I really like power wise though. I like Bulletproof and the Immortal. Bulletproof also has a very, very fucked up backstory, like origin that I can't wait to get animated. It's insanely fucked up. Yeah, Bulletproof is not actually all that great of a guy, and you're gonna see a lot of that throughout the show. But I mean, like, he's a good hero. He's just not a great guy. If that makes sense, But Robot's a really, really cool character too, who is going to have a huge, huge impact on the story later on. He's one of the most important characters in Invincible.
And as you can see, this is my dog, Reese.
Hey, Reese.
It's an Australian Shepherd. I'm sure you'll see him many, many times, probably in every single episode. He'll try to come up and get some love.
Especially when he starts getting bigger.
Oh, yeah.
He's still a puppy.
He's still a puppy. But next time, I guess we will talk about more Invincible.
Yes, get some more in depth on that.
Yeah, we'll try to get into some, or at least I will try to get into some more shows. I'm not as experienced with anime as Chance is.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure what's next on the anime agenda. There's a lot there's a lot both of us haven't seen, but there's even more he needs to catch up on. So I'm trying to get him to watch maybe either Naruto or Jujutsu Kaisen. Um, Anybody who's watching this far, if you have a recommendation on anything we should start watching together, or anything you think either of us should catch up on, let us know in the comments.
Yes, please let us know. And please follow us.
Yes,
Like, subscribe, all that good stuff.